I mean, I dropped a match when I was pulling Devin because I didn't want to get tied up into a long war. But it was chicken shit me to do that too. Just I know.
Well, it is, but at the same, I mean, it is, but it's perfect because it leads to me to the first topic I had written down, which is one of my favorite things about this whole sport is it a fight sport, a combat sport, or is it a strength sport? And that. I think a lot of people have different opinions on that. I'd really love to hear your opinion and discuss that topic with you because it's for sure it's both, but it's got to be. It's like well, obviously you're both, but which one are you more? Like so.
Yeah. I would list it, and I mean I am by far and away a gym-based strength focused guy,
for sure.
But I think I would list it as more of a combat sport than a strength sport.
That's
because all the skills, you got to have enough strength just to even contest a match. But once you get a certain level of strength, once your side pressure's at 100 and some pounds or your back pressure's at 120, at that point, like when it's John versus Devin and the strengths are kind of there, now it's almost fully a combat sport.
Yeah.
But if the strengths are lopsided, then it can be a full power sport if you take a super heavyweight and a lightweight. But you get people of I really don't think the strength differences in the weight classes are as much as people think. I think it's more like 3 or 4%. I don't think it's 20 or 30%. And so once you get up to like elite or national level strength levels, then I would say it's almost primarily it's who hits go first. Who, it's the rock, it's Rochambeau. If I'm throwing paper and you're throwing scissors, it don't matter how hard I threw paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, do you have the right style for your opponent?
Yeah, no, that's exactly the way I always describe it to people, especially when I'm trying to explain it to people that don't arm wrestle, is I say it's a combat sport in which strength is the number one factor to winning. Like if you're not strong enough, you're not in the fight. But as soon as the strength levels are within a certain percentage, then it's all about technique and skill and combat and mind games and speed and all that kind of stuff over.
I would agree. Yeah, because like in martial arts or boxing or something, those are combat sports where like speed would be more important.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Well, it is wrestling. So I mean, it's arm wrestling. So yeah, strength is probably more important than speed.
Yep.
But in the context of what you said, in the sense that if you're just not strong enough, it really doesn't matter how fast you are. The guy he'll be able to just let you hit and stop you and then rip you back across the table.
Right.
But if strength levels are there, then the fact that you're 10% faster than him might make the match look completely uneven, even though strength wise you're really close because you've got such a big gap on speed, right?
And the strength levels don't have to be equal. Especially in a super match. Yeah. You could walk into a super match with a 6 or 7% strength deficit. You play your cards right, knock the edge off him. By round 3, you might have more power than him if you wore him out, if his moves are inefficient or something. So
yeah, for sure. Which again is where it's the combat, like a boxer, like letting him take his power out, throwing heavy punches that aren't gonna knock you out. It's like a king's move, for example, being a king's mover, it's perfect.
That's why endurance is also a factor in arm wrestling.
Huge factor, yeah, for sure. Awesome. So I think we can say we agree on that topic, which is awesome. And then I guess that I was wondering, your table time versus gym lifts, as we were talking about sort of training methodology before we came on, and I mentioned how we look at our table time as like our max effort day. So we don't do our max effort like lifts in the gym, but we do our volume and our speed work in the gym. Do you think like when you started arm wrestling, did you have to get to a certain level of table experience before really building your strength mattered?
When I started, I was a big believer in table time is more important for about 10 or 12 years.
Yeah, that's kind of